Thank you, Sitong. Thank you for organizing this wonderful event of sharing you this Kuja Kuja, the use of artificial intelligence, how we have been able to empower community engagement in programs, in humanitarian programs. We believe that, okay, thank you for your introduction, Sitong. It's necessary to understand what Kuja Kuja is, and we understand what Kuja Kuja is. Being a platform that consolidates the perspective, the communitarian in a real-time feedback, we've been created and we've developed this technology since 6 years ago. We were created by humanitarian organizations in Silicon Valley that, as a group, refugees from Uganda, Africa, they wanted to create a solution where humanitarian organizations could give a solution to all those gaps and challenges they were looking and locate all the beneficiaries in those decision makers. This is why today I will share some information for you. I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see it. And this is why today our initiative is to show you our perspective with some challenges.
Sí, la estamos viendo. Muchas gracias.
And this is why today we would like to share with you some challenges that we have seen within this active voice with the community engagement in our programs. We know that there are robust systems that have been created, globally speaking, that allow us to create information systems, technical methodologies, specific indicators that allow us to listen communities. But my question here is toward those mechanisms, if they really allow us to listen openly and allow us to have spaces to communities so they can express themselves in a free way. We believe that not. This is not the way we need. We know that there are important components in these mechanisms that are robust information and allow us to act, but sometimes these capacities are limited trying to respond to specific issues, technical metrics, really exact metrics, and many times from some limited skills that we can observe inside some organizations, these limitations transmit communities. And then is a short space and a gap where communities can be able to express, freely express in order to indicate what is their perspective in front of the services and the way our humanitarian organizations are responding to the different problems they are facing. Basically, we believe that it is important to raise all the voices so they can express themselves openly because we are human beings. We are not numbers. We are not figures. And through the understanding of these human beings, we need to understand their perspectives, their stories. And this is why that it is important to create mechanisms where they can speak. And more than this information only is relevant when the organizations involve these figures in the daily management that allows it to implement and can get it closer to the community. And also when communities don't know what is going on, this engagement is also affected. And this is why we want to see this action we have a real-time feedback of what we receive from the communities. This is going to be different when we see this real-time feedback. So basically, we believe that if we interpretate the populations, if we perceive them as customers, as these people that have a total empowerment of sharing us their perspective, what are the possibilities of improvement for this kind of responses? And also, if we go beyond, if we ask and we go and dig what kind of response we can find, what solutions we can offer, just to give them an answer for the problems they are living. We can find different answers. We can approach differently, and we can provide them the comprehension, the and a clear understanding of how this help can be sustainable on time, and these effects can be more than the immediate intervention, and how these effects can be seen on a long-term basis, having into consideration what it can be done. The organization is in the capacity of providing at that real time. But we believe in simplicity. We believe in the power of ideas, the power these communities can have in thinking about solutions. So humanitarian organizations can complement the mechanisms they already have with the different perspectives with the communities. So Kuja Kuja proposes a simple metric to provide a solution, a continuous and ongoing and anonymous solution that they feel comfortable when they look for this kind of solutions to spread their voice, and it can be offered so they can listen, so they can participate, they can talk. So we can go to communities, it doesn't matter the number of communities, with a local what are the best mechanisms so they can speak and we can listen them in scale with a total freedom and openly. So what we do is we have created our solution through different components that we have understood that as active and an ongoing communities just to generate actions that will be generated faster and then will be that these actions will create an improvement of services in an efficient sustainability. Therefore, we have created artificial intelligence in order to have a better comprehension, a lighter, a simple, with a wider understanding of what the communities share with us. And we have all the issues that they say, what they say, and they share with us. And we can translate this to prioritize, and we can share with the organizations how why these local communities can visualize the priorities. And if we can have these solutions, we can create on a longer scale solutions and this information to have a more wider visual. And through these entities, the social entities of the villages, we can change solutions for them through the social components. We also pair this information with demographic data. So this can allow us to have a real wider solution and allow organizations through this dynamic can have a better comprehension, a faster comprehension, and it can facilitate this speed to the adaptability processes so they can be supported in this daily work they have. And there, thanks to the adaptability of our methodology in the different contexts, that we have been able to go to local communities with different cultural components, follow improvements in different sectors, in emergency sectors, in emergency scenarios around the world. And you can see here in the screen the places where we are, where we participate right now, and we are engaged. We have had the facility of involving, and we have engaged with our methodology to bring that voice to the different communities and bring solutions. Okay, now to share with you how we see this methodology in some examples. In Colombia, for example, what we have done, also addressing the different current transparencies. Since we've been operating in Colombia 3 years ago, we've received 75,000 ideas referring services offered to the currency transfers, where we have seen that when we engage the organizations and we have this initiative of involving communities, communities start talking about concerns, claims, but related more to why am I not receiving this or that? Why is this happening? When we incentivize this engagement, the way the communities are starting to communicate. It's more simple. And this is why we are able to see today that from those 75,000 ideas, the trend is that we can see ideas such as sustainability of this program on a long-term basis, how communities see that it is necessary to bring tools and offer tools so they can have this best, they can benefit from it, but also they can autonomously, they can comply their needs. And also through the information we receive, we perceive issues such as security, safety, the importance of transmitting information, key information for the community, avoiding rumors also of the expectations. We perceive also through the different interactions with community, we are able to see that sometimes some officers of the service providers, what they do sometimes is to charge money, and how the organizations needs to handle this. So the communities, when they use this financial resource, they can have a good management of how they are going to use the money. There will be no fear about using their, how they are going to use it efficiently with all the needs they can have. And also they are going to share information of including important things such as we have seen that sometimes it's important to create some management about financial education by which the different humanitarian organizations have realized this and have implemented these actions, these strategic actions. We need, for example, this kind of training for financial education, how to handle and manage resources, providing different trainings, technical probably, so they can, these communities can benefit and they can comply. And we've seen how these communities engage. The members of this community are discussing between them these ideas, solution, and they can bring new mechanisms such as the information mechanisms. How can they engage? And together they can bring ideas in order for these organizations, they can help them and support them. So also the things we have seen with the organizations is just the risk management. We've seen organizations that due to these rumors or this way, it's been managing the dynamic in each territory. It's necessary to open an area to evaluate and assess the risks, not only for safety of people when they receive that help, but also the rumors that can affect the the good involvement and performance, and also the effect of this dynamic of listening, also to act through voices of communities. We've seen that the trust levels increase, that they are the ones that ask for these kinds of mechanisms to talk. They are the ones that also to look ways of together with the organizations, they can think about robust ideas, not related with concerns, but also ideas that can allow us to sustain the program on a long-term basis. And also they trust the operations that's been managed by the organizations inside their communities. So it has been like some positive effects of how that local communities engage and they think about these programs and these kinds of trainings of thinking of solutions in order to collaborate with the action that it's been done. We all know that when there's an action, sometimes there are sometimes moments, the mechanism, bureaucratic mechanisms, understanding organisms can take a lot of time to action, but there are some actions where communities share with us, and they are simple, and through technology, we've been able to develop through with intelligence, artificial intelligence. There are some actions that will not involve um, a large scale or this rainbows with currency, but we can generate actions, and these actions will generate an effect. And this is why this technological aspect with through Kuja Kuja is also to visualize how the accountability and the actions of organizations will create an engagement of communities. And this effect, we are able to see it with the evolution of the conversations. And here in the screen, you can see an example through the different moments we talked with communities. From the moment we talk about an action, the communities value and indicate how valuable it is to reinforce those small details necessary to move on. This is an example where the organization took a decision of how we were communicating with communities. And from this moment, what key messages were important to transmit? The community exposed those key messages. It was a discussion from both sides, how the organizations can improve also these actions. And also it's necessary to bring an agile conversation, how we are listening to communities and how they feel engaged and they make part of this process. So the organizations, through this cultural change, listening communities, we've seen that there's a transformation, an internal transformation inside the organizations, independent of the sector they are working, how rigid their structures are. And this transformation is done through learning. So we have detected different cycles, different learning cycles where organizations have been engaged. And in a first moment, what we see when they start to listen communities, it's that they act to comply the value proposal of the programs, to identify what is going on, how they can be adjusted, how some aspects can be changed to identify failures, correct some mistakes, and improve communications and improve the service offer. In a second stage, what we have been able to see is that through this management, the organizations, when they engage the community voices, they will wide and they spread idealizing how they can create activities such as to comply with the needs and solutions that they are being shared by the communities, how they can create a learning system through the organizations. Through voices, they can generate actions, and how these actions can be engaged, not only by the people in the programs, but also people from budget in ground that can be involved in different ways in the project, and how this can generate more solution ideas and go beyond and advance more. Other important moments of this learning stages when they transfer this knowledge in order to widen the management locally, but also regionally to offer responses. And we have seen uh, some programs, gender violence, and it's important how they try to expand this knowledge and how they, in a final stage, try to create new interventions from the moment they see components where the operation is not able to reach a response to these needs, to these solutions. So they design new solutions as well. We believe there's a field that it's already built, but it's also a lot of things that have to be done. We've detected more than 1,200 actions, but we know that there are more things that need to be done, not to underestimate. We need to engage more people under a cultural change internally inside the organization to create mechanisms, spaces of listening constantly to the community. So we value we value all the programs of the different entities that all the organizations have. We believe the organizations, flexible, rigid organizations, can be able to create an adaptability and effective in a faster way to foster this engagement. And with Kuya Kuya, this is like a complement that basically from the technical aspects that the organizations need to comply, Kuya Kuya can allow and contribute in a faster and efficient way how the communities express themselves, the solutions in order to manage a humanitarian response that's more accurate. Thank you. This is my presentation. Thank you.